The invocation. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhe Bhavatu Me Sada Vasudevam Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Hari Om. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Yes. Can someone recollect anything that we saw last? Yes, please. Anybody? If you can recollect anything, inform the link and move ahead. Yes, please. Anybody?
Scary Ugra Roop of Krishna Arjuna was seeing, and he was not able to believe what he was seeing. Like it was very, very terrifying for him. And everywhere he could see lights, so many lights.
Okay, so many lives?
Lights.
Lights. Okay.
Yeah.
It was like a Sahasra Surya have all become one. Yes, Anjaji has shared that. Anybody would like to add? Yes, Binaji? Yes, ma'am.
Arjuna could not believe Krishna's power and potential to create and destroy all this in the universe. He sees the Kauravas, including Drona, Bhishma, and Karna, rushing into his fearful mouth of that formidable form, who looked like the moths rushing with great speed towards light or fire. And he's totally overwhelmed and shocked, and he confesses that his heart and mind is full of fear by this form of his dear friend, where he sees no resemblance to his Krishna as he knows him. So Krishna says that it is a form that this is the form of time, the Kala, which destroys the three worlds. And he requests Arjuna to be his instrument to perform the dharma, be
Does he
fearless.
request? Yes, Binaji, does he request?
Yeah,
Not request.
him.
Yeah, he bluntly states, Arjuna, I am not dependent on you. Even if you were not doing your duty, I'll find another Arjuna. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes,
He says, be fearless, rise to the occasion and fight your enemies. But Arjuna, as usual, he continues to praise him, furthermore, apologizing and confessing for all the acts of disrespect or his offense which he would have created, by ignorance. And he says, I do not want to see this form of yours. I just want to see the
who's
pleasant.
behind this form? Yes. This is not the real form of you, Krishna. Please show me that form which I can tolerate. And suddenly they say, Chor ke dadi mein tinka, something like that. He is immediately, hey Yadava, hey Sakheti, hey Krishna. I didn't know you were so great. It was out of, no, it was not purposely that I did it. Out of love. This is one dialogue which lot of times it is said, but it's wrongly said. Out of love only I insulted you, or out of love only I made fun of you. And in that process, he's reminding the Vishwarupa. He's reminding the Vishwarupa, Krishna, when you were alone, when you were in company, when you were eating, when you were resting. It is said that when somebody is eating or somebody is resting, these two times should not disturb. But Arjuna has not spared Krishna even those times. Well, it also goes to show what a beautiful bonding Arjuna and Krishna have. That is the Maitri. That is the Maitri between the two. That is why this is a very, what we can say, powerful pair, God and his instrument on the human side. But this Ugra Rupa is scary. Krishna has said that there's no need to be scared actually, but it is scary. And I think any one of us also, we would have felt the same, isn't it? Fear, because he's seen Kala, he's seen Mrityu. And many times, in mind, we are ready for certain things, but when the situation comes, it becomes different, isn't it? Many times, no, I will now talk to that person. I will tell him properly what's going to happen. See, you are wrong. You are behaving wrong to me. And you go to that person. Suddenly, that person asks you, what happened? "Oh, nothing. And you walk away, isn't it? Because actual situation at that time, unless you are like the Siddha Sanghas, you don't have attachments, you are having nothing to lose, unless that situation comes in, you will be afraid. You will be afraid. But it's okay. At least out of fear, you turn towards the divine, isn't it? That's the one good thing. In my life also, I remember before I met Damliji, before I even knew there was anything spiritual inside of me, I remember the experience. It was class 8th or ninth. My father asked me to go and check the water tank. Pani hai kya? Otherwise, there's a problem. We'll have to call this CPWD to do the work. So, chalo, theek hai, let's go. It was a very thin ladder. I quickly climbed up. It was fine. Then from the top, I screamed out, "Yes, there is water. All right, come down now. Work is done." Theek hai. I started coming down. The first step I took, I saw, oh my God, it is such a big height. I don't know how Ram started each step of mine. Started. It was like subconsciously out of Bhaya, this Maran started. Well, it happens. It happens in fear. But fear is not a necessary condition. Even the Ugra Rupa we need not fear. We saw, I think, a beautiful example was shared by one of the participants also of Tani Raman's story. How he's not afraid of Ma Kali. She is what? She is the most Ugra of the Devis, but because his heart is clear, he's not fearing her also. He laughs and he dares to ask, which no human being will ever dare to ask. He says, Ma, what happens if you catch a cold? We human beings struggle with one head if we catch a cold. But what about you? You have so many heads. How will you manage? So then that is something which is this is an important aspect that bhaya is not required. So this is one thing which we will see. So Arjuna is telling Krishna, I did not intend to disrespect you anytime. It was just out of ignorance. Let us continue. He goes on. He says, Pitasi lokasya. Yes, somebody wants to add something, is it? No. Let's continue then. All right. I'll just mute up. Hari Om. पितासि लोकस्य चराचरस्य त्वमस्य पूज्यश्च गुरुर्गरीयान् न तत्समोस् न तत्समोऽस्ति अभ्यधिकः कृतोऽन्यो लोकत्रयेऽपि अप्रतिमप्रभाव. O divine teacher, the father of every single being, thou art the highest worship capable to the living. If in the three worlds equal to ye there is none superior to ye, how can there be anyone? How can there exist anyone greater than the divine? Nobody is even close to coming to equal your divinity or the beauty of your majesty, the strength, the glory. They cannot equal. Who can surpass? The question of surpassing cannot even be thought, is what he's saying. He says, you are the divine teacher. You are the guru, most respected guru. You are the father. You're the father of every single being. Some people are orphans, isn't it? They don't have parents. They don't have a father. They don't have a mother. But they also experience the love of the father. They experience the love of the mother. And it comes directly from the divine. I've had some opportunities of interacting with some wonderful personalities. One would feel, oh no, how are they? No, this is no, God is my father. One very famous person is there, Mr. Karthikeyan. He started a village for those with special needs. He's just 35 or something, 36, 37, maybe that's his age. But starting a village, and from what humble backgrounds, how did he rise? Divine is helping and taking care. How simple is that? So this consciousness is important. And Arjuna is saying, you are that father for everyone. He goes on further. Tasmat pranamya pranidhaya kayam prasadaye tvam mahamisha medyam piteva putrasya sakheva sakhyuhu priyah priyayarhasi deva sodhum. Hence to ye I perform a full body prostration. He says, I recognize you, Krishna. I recognize you. I recognize your divinity. And that is why, means it's not just fear. He's like somewhere he's understood also. Fear may be there because he's facing a storm right in front of him. But the reverence is also genuine. We can see that. He says, that is why I'm doing this full full Sashtang Namaskar. He says, to ye I offer my surrender and submission. Thou art the father to the son, the companion of a friend. So you are the father to the son who does not have one. You are the companion for that person who is alone, who does not have anybody. The beloved to the lover. O Lord, thy mercy upon me, please extend. So Krishna is saying, Krishna, please extend your mercy upon me. You are the companion. I think in the Vishnu Sahasranam, anybody remembers the different names of Vishnu? Or even the Shodasha Nama. Each name is for one purpose, isn't it? Oshade Chintaye Vishnu Bhojane cha Janardhanam Shayane Padmanabham cha Vivahe cha Prajapatim Duswapne Smara Govindam Sankate Madhusudanam. My guru's name is at the time of danger. I got it at an important time of my life. I got darshana only. Now I don't even need Vishwarupa or even any other darshana. I already got that, what is required in this birth. But each name had something. Sridhara Priya Sangame. So when you need a companion, that is Sridhara. He will come. Call him, call Sridhara. So this each name has a meaning, and here Arjuna is probably realizing. So one is knowing the Shodashanama, another is realizing those names, means experiencing the presence. I know people who have had horrible dreams, horrible in the sense worse than the worst horror movies that somebody can see. Somebody kept getting those dreams again and again, again and again, repeatedly, that a person was afraid to go to sleep. And then the smaran of the divine started before going to sleep, and those swapnas disappeared. From where? What? What is that? What occult action has taken place with smarana? Well, that person has understood it. It is as simple as that. Krishna goes on. Arjuna goes on. Adrushta purvam drushitosme drishtva भयेन च प्रव्यथितं मनो मे तदेव मे दर्शय देवरूपं प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवास. What was never seen before, I now saw, but my mind trembles with both fear and awe. He says, I respect you also. I'm finding it awesome, but I'm also finding it absolutely fearsome. It's great, it looks great, it also looks terrible, both at the same time. He's not able to fully understand it. O refuge of the universe, shower thy compassionate grace. Thy earlier peaceful form, let my vision embrace. He's again back to that same thing. My dear Krishna, I know you. Come back, my dear Krishna. Not this form. I mean, that's like suddenly he's seen that Ugra Rupa, and from the Ugra, he's not able to recognize the Karuna in that Rupa also. That is also actually the challenge. Arjuna has to rise now in sadhana also. If he rises, he may have seen his dear one, even in that Ugra Rupa. But let us continue. Yes, Binaji, do you want to ask something or share something? Any point? No. All right, then I'll just mute. All right. किरीटिनं गदिनं चक्रहस्तं इच्छामि त्वां दृष्टमहं तथैव तेनैव रूपेण चतुर्भुजेन सहस्रबाहो भव विश्वमूर्ते. I crave to see the form my mind understands. So you see, there is this Varnan of different forms of Vishnu. So probably Arjuna heard it. From whom? Who knows? From Devala, Vyasa, or even Guru Dronacharya might have said about it to him. So when he said, I wanted to get a darshana, probably he thought I'll get the Saumya darshana. But he got something else. Like, oh, hey Bhagwan, kaun sa channel lag gaya? I don't know what to do. Please change, please change. He's begging all his ways, and now he comes and asks sincerely. He says, this is the form I want to see. He clearly describes the form. He said, I crave to see the form that my mind understands. With thy crown, mace, and discus in hand, O thousand-armed universal form, do unveil the divine four-armed figure of thine. Please reveal. So he's begging to show me the Chaturbhuja Darshana. The Chaturbhuja Darshana is considered to be the most beautiful, calm, peaceful, ethereal. That Darshana, he says, Hey Vishwarupa, no, enough. Show me that Darshana of this Chaturbhuja Rupa. There are people, like I said, there's one participant who had many years back, almost 4 to 5 years back. But I cannot forget the participant. I cannot forget her experience because what she saw, she wrote it down. And the depth is so much. She has even talked about fragrances which she got. She's talked about the height of Krishna and Arjuna. And it's as dynamic as this Adhyaya, or sometimes I feel it is actually when I read it again and again, I see it is sometimes deeper. So that is the Darshana. Who is worthy of a Darshana? The bhakta, every bhakta is worthy of the darshana, but for that they have to just raise their sadhana to become patra or to become adhikari. Krishna has recognized Arjuna to be adhikari, that is why he is receiving the Gita. And when you are receiving something like this, when you are getting grace from the divine, you should be like Arjuna only. Milk the moment maximum, as much as you can, as much as you can. So he's seen the Vishwarupa, he's happy, but he says, no, please, that Chaturbhuja Rupa. I crave for it. It is some very beautiful one. Krishna goes on. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Maya prasannena tavarjanedam rupam param darshitamatma yoga तेजोमयं विश्वमनन्तमाद्यं यन्मे त्वदन्येन न दृष्टपूर्वम्. O Arjuna, Lord Krishna speaks, by my favor alone this form can you see, my luminous form from which the world came to be, my original self, that mortal eyes have never gazed, this infinite universal form that you have witnessed and praised. He says, yes, you are doing this stuti of this form also, it is by my grace that you are seeing. I wished that you see it. There's a reason I had to show it to you, and I am fulfilling it. He goes on, न वेदय न न वेदयज्ञाध्ययनैर्न दानैर्न च क्रियाभिर्न तपोभिरुग्रैः. Just one moment. You're not hearing in this.
No, fine. Probably I am only hearing it. Yes. न वेद यज्ञाध्ययनैर्न दानैर्न च क्रियाभिर्न तपोभिरुग्रैः एवं रूपः शक्य अहं नृलोके दृष्टं तदन्येन कुरु प्रवीर. So not by Veda, not by the Adhyayan of the Vedas, not by Dana, not by Kriya, not by Tapa. What is he telling? He says, not by researching the Vedas or by pouring sacrificial oblations, neither by charity nor by performing right actions, not even by the strictest of penances. Is it possible for man to see my perfect form? Apart from you, no one has or can. So Arjuna, there are great yogis in the world. There are great tapasvis. There are great danis also who have done such donations. They've given everything. They've given everything to people. Not by the dana, not by great karma, not by yajna, not by knowledge, but by grace alone. Means this important aspect, it's not ridiculing or, you know, lowering the importance of Veda, Yajna, Dana, Tapa, Swadhyaya. All these later on in the Gita will also be pointed out as important aspects that need to be done in life. We have to do some tapa. Without that, our sadhana, what is tapa? Tapa is a fire, isn't it? Tapashcharya is what? It is basically lighting the fire. Fire is required for what? For moving ahead. That is required. So tapa is required. Yajna is also required. Yajna can be the yajna which you call the karma kanda yajna also. Yajna can also mean the yajna of sacrifice. So yajna without sacrifice, you can't move ahead. Not by dana also. Some dana should be done. It doesn't mean that you need to have lots of money to do dana. There are different types of dana. Vidya dana, Shrama dana, Sometimes even lending your ear to somebody who needs is also a dana. So dana is also required, yagna is also required, tapa is also required, swadhyaya is also required, studying scriptures is required. Why? Why should we study scriptures? Anybody? So that we get punya and Chitragupta will add brownie points. So yes, this person has done these many shloka readings. Let us give him priority booking in Swargaloka. Why should scripture reading be done? Anybody? Or it shouldn't be done at all? Yes, anybody?
So to attain knowledge.
To attain knowledge. Okay. Yes, to attain knowledge, and sometimes the scriptures give us direction also for life. It's like why everybody must learn about history. You must know the history because you otherwise make the same mistakes. Bharata's history, if you do not know, what will you see in the future? You will again become what happened to those who did not understand. The mistakes that were done in the past must not occur again in Bharat. So for that, we must become conscious. We must understand. So something like that. But Krishna says here, grace makes a person patra, or grace gives the adhikara. Grace can be what? Grace from the divine. How does the divine grace flow? It is like a descent from the skies directly. Every individual can receive it. It can come from your love for a Aradhya. It can come from the Guru. It can come any place in the world if you are sincere and with Shraddha. So that is something an important aspect which Krishna is telling. Let us continue. He goes on further. Now he says this.
Sir, I have
Yeah.
a question. So
Yes,
in
ji.
this 47th and 48th shlok, is it being referred to the calm roop of Krishna, or
Oh,
which
no, he is
Arjuna
not
wants to
yet.
see?
No, not yet, not yet. The Ugra Rupa only. Kam Rupa is yet to come. It's just
Okay,
happening.
so
Yeah.
47 and 48 is talking about
Yes.
the Ugra roop, where he
Yes.
says
Yes.
it's my
Yes.
perfect form and everything.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Okay, okay.
The Ugra Rupa.
And
Okay.
it is that no one has or can so
Yeah,
like
of
no one is
course, we have these other people who have got exceptions, isn't it? Exception proves the rule every time. We have barbaric also, we have the others also who've got. But apart from them, and many don't have the smriti after seeing. That way, you see, even our Duryodhana got a darshanam. Duryodhana got a darshan, isn't it? But it got erased, it was forgotten. Krishna in his Balarupa also gave different darshanas, isn't it? So many. Some remembered, some did not remember. But let us continue. The important purport of this shloka for us is this, that yes, we can become adhikari with our bhakti. We can become adhikari where even the greatest karma yogi cannot become adhikari, where the greatest tapasvi cannot become adhikari, where the most knowledgeable person cannot become adhikari. With bhakti, we can become that. It's not saying that that's less important. But sometimes, we see people, they have done so great works, we feel, Hare, humse kya hoga? What will happen to us? How many births will take to reach that stage? We feel that. But no, Krishna is not saying that you're in any way inferior. Light that fire of bhakti inside, you will see Vishwarupa's fire is not so different from the fire of bhakti inside of you also. So that realization must come. Krishna says there's no need to fear. The next shloka, he very clearly says, he says, Mate vyatha macha vimudha bhavo. Clearly he says, this is a mudha bhava. The foolish fear that you are having inside. It's not required. Mate vyatha macha macha vimudha bhavo. Drushta rupam ghoramidrudam medam. Vyapeta bhihi pritamanaha punastvam. Tadeva me rupamidam prapashya. He says, seeing this tremendous form of mind, you should not fret. This ignorant state of panic, you must starkly reject. Most of the time, when you are panicking, understand you're in some form of ignorance or the other in life. Ignorance has taken control of me. The moment ignorance leaves, the panic also ceases. Krishna is telling, the big Ugra Rupa is telling, no, you don't have to be afraid of this. This is just ignorance. This is ignorance, is what he's saying. Cast away your fear as I show you the milder form of mine. Behold and rejoice, witnessing my other embodiment divine. So he says, enjoy. I'm going to show you the next darshana. Arjuna has got the lottery. What more can we say? He is enjoying it. We are just lucky to even hear about it or read about it. But Arjuna, he got a pratyaksha, and look at what happened after it. He became immortal, isn't it? Immortalized in time. This Arjuna is now also 5,000 plus years later. We are still trying to look at Arjuna as a, what we can say, role model also. Let's continue. Sanjay Uvacha. Ityarjunam Vasudevas तथोक्त्वा स्व स्वकं रूपं दर्शयामास भूयः आश्वासयामास च भीतमेनं भूत्वा पुनः सौम्य vapur. This is beautiful. He comes to that afraid bhakta also. Krishna immediately after giving the darshana, then goes back to his usual form. He gives the Chaturbhuja darshana and then comes to the Hey, डर गए क्या? Arjuna, are you afraid? No, no, come on, relax. Don't worry. I'm back. I'm back. He comes to assure the bhakta also. He says, after saying these words to Arjuna, the four-armed manifestation was assumed by Krishna. Then, resuming his peaceful form, full of love and grace, the Lord returned to console the fear-struck face. So he has come. He's come for what? To console his bhakta who has been scared. Arjuna, relax, I'm back. Don't worry. Arjuna sees that and then he is suddenly calm again. He's so calm and peaceful. If you just see the emotions of Arjuna right now in this adhyaya, it's been a roller coaster, isn't it? Suddenly, very please, please, he goes on begging for a darshana very sincerely. Then he gets the darshana. Then he says, wow, look all these devas. Look how graceful. Look at Brahma. Look at all these Naga races. All of them, they are so lovely, so brilliant. And suddenly, it's starting to get scared. Then he's so scared. He's so scared that he's shaking and trembling, just doing Shamasva, Shamasva, forgive me. And then he sees that beautiful Chaturbhuja Rupa. And now let us hear his words. Arjuna says, Arjuna Uvacha, Drishtvedam Manusham Rupam Tava Saumyam Janardana Idani Masmi Samvrittaha Sachetaha Prakritim Gataha. Arjuna spoke. Seeing your four-armed form coming to the fore, an ecstatic delight overwhelms me once more. Oh, so soothing this peaceful form of yours, I find a silent sea of bliss now fills my mind. Suddenly all the ripples have disappeared and he's suddenly filled with that quietude. You can probably just visualize the Chaturbhuja Rupa. The crown is there, the mace is there, the disc in one hand, the shankha in another. And so beautiful it is. It is so calm and peaceful. And Arjuna has seen it, and suddenly everything is all emotions have just disappeared. He has entered into a different state of consciousness. This is actually important for us to understand that we can enter into higher states of consciousness in difficult moments also. We really wait for the difficult moments to go, then we will enter into a good state of consciousness. We think like that, but that is the time. Use that moment also sometimes as a challenge to go into that quietude, because these difficult moments also have been brought for a purpose. So here Arjuna has entered into a different consciousness. His chitta is filled with shanti. His mind has become like a sagar, the calm ocean. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. सदुर्दर्शमिदं रूपं दृष्ट्वानसि यन्मम देव अप्यस्य रूपस्य नित्यं दर्शन कांक्षिणः. So see, who is pining for this darshan? The devas and themselves. My four-armed form has been seen by you. Sorry, my four-armed form that has been seen by you has been witnessed by only the rarest few. For even the demigods wonder and desire to see this avatar, forever they aspire. So this form, this rupa, to see this, even the devas, they aspire to see it. Naham, again he reminds the same thing. Naham vedairna tapasa nadanena chejjaya shakya evam vidho drushtum društvanasi mam yatha. The form that you saw cannot be seen neither by the Vedas, nor by the penances strictest, nor by the sacrifices, nor by the charities to the poorest. To see this form by all, it has not possible been. Before we go next, Krishna doesn't repeat anything without any reason. But now he has repeated, isn't it? Again, he has told about this. He says, not by Vedas, not by Dharma, not by the most, what we can say, most difficult upasana also. A lot of people do a lot of upasanas. Sometimes it's a very difficult one. They take, they take anishthan, they take sankalpa, and they start doing this many. I will complete this. They do all of that with such sincerity and such greatness. It's difficult to maintain. But Krishna is saying, even by that, it is not possible. Not by even the biggest charity. Say your entire property have donated to somebody also may not make you worthy of it. Why is Krishna repeated this is my question. Anybody? Can you tell me what could be the reason? If we're just analyzing, of course. There can be 100 reasons. You might find a better reason than what I think also. Yes, please, Vinitaji.
Sir, well, studying, we summarize that key points, na? So
Yeah.
maybe he's repeating it that this is the underlined
Okay.
key
To
point.
okay, to
Something like
repeat it. Yes. But why this alone has been repeated specifically like this? What do you think, Vinitaji?
he's giving us the marga ki
Okay,
no
fine.
need
All
of
right.
all those other things. You can do that, but this is
Okay.
bhakti is the
Okay.
marga.
All right. He's not mentioned bhakti yet, no? But he's told not by this.
Earlier, huh?
Neti, he's told. Okay, Binaji is adding something.
To
Yes, yes.
reiterate to Arjuna that he is privileged to have got
Okay.
this divine thing, and he needs. I mean, it is his. There's an opportunity for him to be his instrument to perform the dharma.
Okay, that's one interpretation what Binaji has said. All right. Anybody else?
Maybe like he's trying to say that not by doing, but by being, you can achieve.
Yeah, that is also true. That is also true. But one more thing, what happens is many times when people do sadhana, what happens? Aham bhava comes in. I know Vedas, I know Shastras, I know I have done such tapasya. I am a great upasak. Don't you know I have done sadhana for the last 15 days, such or last 15 years? Who are you? Who are you to talk in front of me? Ahankara of sadhana also comes in sometimes. So that aham bhava has to be lost. All the darshanas are possible when we become patra. Let us see next shloka. So that's probably one more thing because these are all beautiful aspects. Each of these will help us progress only. Study of Veda will help us progress. Upasana will take us ahead. Whatever sadhana we do will always take you ahead. There's nothing about that. But there is this fine, thin rope. They call that sukshma ahankar of the sadhak. That is very dangerous. What we can say the other general ahankar which people have, no? Say, I am the best wrestler in the world. I will say that in my gully maybe. And suddenly next gully I go and I repeat that, then there is a real wrestler, he'll do one dhobi pachad and my ahankar is immediately gone. And now I will not dare to tell it because everybody will be busy laughing at me. कि क्या हो गया देख इसका धोबी पछाड़ कैसे हुआ? So the ahankar is gone. But what happens to the sadhak's ahankar? Who is going to take it out? Nobody can take it out, they say. My guru says sometimes even guru and Bhagwan also cannot take it out unless the sadhak wants it to be taken out. Sukshma ahankar, it is so subtle. It comes in and like, oh, I know, I understand. No, God has given this punishment because this is why it has to happen. And we justify the punishment without learning also what is being taught. The lesson is also interpreted according to our own understanding. That's where it's very dangerous. That's something Krishna is telling. No, not by this. So we need to be having no ahankar. But let us see if it's possible or it's not possible. Krishna goes on next shloka. He clearly says what makes a person patra. What makes a person adhikari? Next shloka is beautifully explaining. He says, Bhaktya tvananyaya shakya ahamevam vidhorjuna jnatum drushtum cha tatvena praveshtum cha parantapa. Oh Arjuna, only by the purest devotion can it possible be. As with a desireless love alone can one know me and truly see me in essence and element and in my consciousness be immersed and present. So Arjuna, only when you have a love which is without desire, a desireless love, purest devotion, then only you can remain in the consciousness of the divine, you can be present in it. Is desireless love possible without expectations?
A
Yes,
mother's love for a child.
Mother's love for a child, isn't it? It's not like I made so many aloo parathas. I'm noting down in my diary. I'm going to get return. Nothing like that. Or if I say, you've served me so much, you've helped me so much, mother. Here's my check. I'm writing it down now and give it to you. I give it to my mother. What will happen? She give me one thappad only, no, directly. What is this? What I have done is priceless. It's not something which can be materially quantified also. And it's not because you are going to give that to me in return. I don't want anything, and there's nothing you can give to me in return for what I have done. Well, that is something, and that is possible, not just in mother's love, it's possible in all dimensions. It's always possible. It is possible in every field and every place. But we have to rise in consciousness, and Krishna says, with bhakti, if you say, it's very nicely, he says, Tvananya Bhaktya Tvananyaya Shakta. Means Ananya Bhakti. The bhakti and love is so firm, so strong. Even if it's like, look at Hiranyakashipu's story, isn't it? How much he tried to disturb Prahlada from his bhakti. Nothing could be done. Nothing could be done to disturb him because his bhakti was that what we call Ananya Bhakti. What happens when you do Ananya Bhakti? Prahlada's story tells us, isn't it? Krishna has also said in the Gita, Ananya Shintayanto Mam Ye Jana Paripasate Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam, meaning you are yukta or you are connected. How long? Nitya. Eternally. You're eternally connected with the divine, and the divine takes care of it. Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. So this aspect of being connected with the divine, it's like a rose without thorns. Will not hurt or poke anybody, isn't it? Just beautiful. That is how the love should be. Desireless. It can happen to anybody at any time if they can become conscious. Krishna goes on. Mat karma, mat karma kran, mat paramo, mat bhaktaha, sanga varjitaha, nirvairaha, sarva bhuteshu, yah sa mameti, pandava. This is another beautiful and powerful shloka. Krishna ends the Vishwarupa with this, means the chapter on Vishwarupa ends with this shloka and instruction to Arjuna. What is it he says? He says, Sangha Varjitaha, become free from all sanghas, all types of attachments. I remember when I was writing this poetry or more than 10 years back, Yogastha Kuru Karmani, Sangam Taktva Dhananjaya. What Maitri is a Sangha? Is Krishna asking me to break friendship? No way, I'm going to break my friendship. Even if Krishna asks me, I'm not going to. So I was actually stuck. I was like, no, I cannot write another poem. I cannot write. I had until I agree, I cannot write a poem. No. So I was stuck. And it was for, I could not move ahead at all because this aspect of Sangha, what is Krishna meaning by become free from all Sanghas? They're not allowed at all in sadhana. So I was stuck completely. And during that time, I thought I'll do a small experiment because printing of a book would cost quite a lot. I thought best way would be make it release as a ebook or a Kindle book. So I just released it online. And just for the heck of it, I sent it to an organization to verify. And they wrote back to me that it's a record. I was so surprised. I was so happy. And in the first page of my book, I had written so many acknowledgement of so many thank yous to so many of my friends. Around 8 to 9 friends' names I had mentioned. Thank you, and all of them. And I was so happy I got a record, and I was very excited about it. Of course, Gita tells you not to get excited, but that I had not understood then. So then, not one of the 8 friends whose names were there bothered to even look at the book. I tried calling them. I said, look at it. And it's like, no, I'm not much of a poetry person. No, I'm not interested. I am busy. And nobody talked or I was so irritated. I felt I've gone into a corner. I thought at least for the sake of, politeness or at least for the sake of courtesy or out of pity, somebody should have told me something about the book. But all of them said no, nothing. And finally, we can say my Arjuna's sorrow started in first adhyay. Mine started in the middle of the writing somewhere. And fine, I was like, okay, useless friends, all of them. Forget it. I don't need their friendship only. It's all right. Krishna, you're saying correct. I need to go away from my friends. All right. I agree. I accept. Let me go in. And I started writing again after a gap of probably 2, 3 months. I had not written anything. And the very next day, I got a call from my friend who said, I was a little busy. I read your book. It's good. I said, nonsense. You could have told that to me one day earlier. But then I understood later on, of course, when I grew a little bit later, that what is Krishna talking about? Sangha is not getting disconnected from everybody. It is getting free from your attachments. You can be in company of people without becoming attached. That is what Krishna is asking you. Because attachment, either positive or negative, isn't it? Attachment comes both ways, no? Somebody you like, then you always want to be attached to that person. You get fascinated, you think about that person all the time. And somebody you don't like, that's also an attachment, no? This person came, today's day is going to be horrible. That person's face I saw, this person speaks like this only. This is a negative attachment. It goes towards direction of dvesha. That's also a problem in this shloka. Krishna beautifully says, he says, mat karma krun, mat paramo, mat bhaktaha, sangha varjita, nirvairaha sarva bhuteshu. Yah samameti pandava. Meaning Arjuna should have nirvaira sthiti, no enemy feeling. He should be a Vishwamitra, Vishwasya Mitra, meaning have enmity towards none. What is this? Let us look at the shloka. Oh Arjuna, surrender to me, perform my bidding, become my devotee and an instrument of my working. With an enmity towards none, from desires become free. Accept me, my way, for such a man shall only come to me. This is Krishna's instruction to the bhakta. Every bhakta, it is this instruction. It says, surrender to me, perform my bidding, work for Krishna, become the instrument of Krishna, become the vibhuti of Krishna, become the devotee of Krishna, whichever suits you best. But work for divine by surrendering completely. That also involves enmity towards none. With enmity towards none, from desires become free. Become free from desires. Become free from dvesha. Accept me, accept my marga, accept my path. Krishna is clearly telling this to Arjuna. Why? Then you will come to me. The question is it possible to have this nirvaira sthiti? Or in Arjuna's case, Arjuna does not have any enemies in the battle right now on the opposite side. What should Arjuna do? Should he go Duryodhana if he's going straight? Go and hug Duryodhana. Thank you, I have no hatred. Or become like some people say, no, ahimsa. So please, Duryodhana, this is my back. You have a wonderful knife. It is very sharp. Please backstab me. Should he do that? What is the meaning of this nirvaira, this instruction? Have no dvesha for anybody. How can Arjuna even take part in the yuddha? Will the Kshatriya fire disappear? Because many people say if people read and feel that they become weak because of scriptures. Scriptures don't tell them to have that fire, which is reactionary and anger and all of that. So what is Arjuna supposed to do right now? The last statement, Krishna has put a googly or something. What is he saying? Anybody? Can you shed some light on this? How can Arjuna approach? He has to take part in the yuddha. So far, Krishna has been telling, take part in the yuddha only. Uttishta. Keeps on saying that. Yes, Manisha ji. Yes, ma'am. Your, your audio is somehow not clear, ma'am.
And without any dvesha,
Without any dvesha,
like hate the sin, not the sinner.
but that's also hate, no? Hating the sin.
Hate in the sense, oh, okay. So even
That is also hate. Means I'm just using a different place for hating. I'm not hating the sinner, but I hate his wrong action. So that hate is again going to, hate is like a poison. It will consume the person, whoever is having it. Unless we are, of course, Nilakantha, we have the ability to digest all the poison. The poison will not affect us. We can convert hate into love also. We can swallow it. But we don't have that ability, isn't it? To
so hate
our
should be avoided.
hate should be avoided. But disliking is allowed, isn't it, Manisha ji?
Disliking
Is allowed, isn't it? There's a difference between liking, disliking, and hating. Hating is having aversion. The negative is most negative, expression that is.
correct.
So
Yes.
Arjuna has to take part in this battle.
Yeah.
He has to become instrument of Krishna. What is the instrument of Krishna going to do? He is going to do the duty of the Kshatriya. That will involve him to release arrows with deathly precision to pierce the heart of Duryodhana without hate. Without hate, because it's duty. Because it's duty. Because the moment hate starts entering inside of us, Krishna will leave us. The heart that houses hate cannot house the divine. So no matter how much we justify hatred, what is going to happen? Because these people are wrong, they have done wrong actions, I have to treat them with their language, so I'll start hating them because they hate me. But in the process, what are you doing? You are becoming as bad as that other person, isn't it? You are lowering your consciousness and divine will not function there. Lower forces, lower emotions, all the lower asuric traits will start overwhelming. Maybe you might have small success, small victory, but you will end up becoming the same individual that you are seeking to destroy. You are only going to become your enemy there. That is why Santa Jnaneshwara also had talked about Duritanche Timirazao. Let the darkness, let the timir inside the wrongdoer disappear. Then he will become. So this is one important principle which we can see. For becoming instrument of the divine, we cannot have hatred. If hatred comes in, our emotions are going to come in between, and we will no more be able to function as per divine guidance. We will not be open to divine suggestions. We will be open only to lower suggestions. So dvesha leads to destruction. Without dvesha, perform your duty. That's what Krishna has told. This is a very important message that Krishna has said in this adhyaya. A message that is overlooked many times. The hate, which is actually nothing but the poison. That poison is going to harm the bearer only of it more than anything. So let's not hate, but let us not forget our duty also. That's the thin line. Thin line is a very thin line. Somebody does wrong, point it out if it's your job in the society. Somebody does wrong against you, stand up if you have to. Stand up to protect yourself, stand up to defend, stand up to ensure that person doesn't repeat it again. That's not at all wrong. But don't do it with hatred inside, because in hatred you will lose your viveka. Not only does Krishna go away, Vivek Buddhi goes on permanent vacation when hatred is inside. Then you'll do something wrong, and then I did it because this happened. Nobody will accept it. So that is one thing. Yes, Vidisha ji wants to add something? Is it? No, all right. Ramlesh had told one very interesting experience when he was very young. That time in his guru's place, somebody was doing absolutely wrong, and that person had to be taught a lesson which required that person to be receiving some danda, which is physical also. Quietly, his guru told, "Okay, go do what you have to do, but खून नहीं निकलना चाहिए. Bones should not break. Give him the language that understands." But that was a wrongdoer. Wrongdoer had to be a Kshatriya, Shatam Prati Shatyam, what is required there. But if you are doing with hatred, that will destroy us completely. When we go to the gunas, we will understand what is Rajas. What is Rajas? That is just manifesting as hate very, very easily. There is Sattva also, there is Tama also, there is Rajas also, and then there is something which is beyond all these three, and that is where Krishna's functioning happens. That is where Leelas take place. That is where higher actions take place. And that is something which Krishna is asking Arjuna. Surrender. Surrender, become the instrument of the divine. Why? Because then there will be the union. So with this adhyaya is complete. We enter into the next adhyaya. We just have a start of the adhyaya. But can anybody guess what is the next adhyaya going to be? Because for a bhakta, darshana is the last thing, isn't it? The most highest thing, the ultimate aspiration. Up to darshan ho gaya. Now what? What do you think is the next adhyaya? Anybody? Yes, you can open the book and see. Yes, but what do you think? Anyone? What is the next adhyaya after the Vishwaroop, after the darshan?
Maybe
Yes.
guidelines on how he should act
Yeah.
or
Okay. Guidelines on how he should act. That is what Vinitaji is saying. All right. Okay. Anybody else? Yes.
Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti.
Bhakti Yoga is being taught after the darshana. That is so interesting. And this is one of the smallest adhyayas of the Gita. The Bhakti Yoga chapter has only 20 shlokas. But those 20 shlokas are so important. It is very interesting because after the darshana, because many times what happens after darshana, I have got sakshatkar. That is it. Ho gaya sab kuch. It's not like that. The journey begins. Imagine what will happen. What will happen after you get a darshana? Say you get a darshana right now. After that, what? Well, you'll have to go to sleep. You'll have to go back to work tomorrow. Usual life, isn't it? Life duties don't get over. And what is bhakti? Because here the Vishwarupa chapter ended with one important aspect, introduction to bhakti. Bhakti can help you transcend your limitations. So then what is bhakti needs to be understood. And that is why this adhyaya is. And this adhyaya also began because a bhakta, that is Arjuna, asked a question which was a right question about bhakti. And that is where we all got the chance to understand what is bhakti yoga. How does the union happen? अर्जुन उवाच एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्तास्त्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षर अव्यक्तम तेषां के योगवित्तमाः. He asks a question. He says, Arjuna asked, there exist devotees who constantly seek thee, but who has the greatest knowledge of yoga? According to ye, those who worship the form of thy divine manifestation, or those who seek thee, the formless, unmanifest with devotion. So Arjuna is asking, see, there are two types of devotees, he says. There are so many devotees, first of all. That's true, isn't it? So many devotees, so many margas, so many roads, so many people taking it. In Marathi, there is a question of a confused bhakta not understanding, "Arey, which road should I go? Each road looks good, each road looks nice, but each road is different. विठ्ठला कोणचा झेंडा घेऊ हाती? Oh, Vitthala, which flag should I take? Whose flag, which banner should I walk under? I want to come to you. Well, so there are so many, but Krishna, according to you yourself, the divine, can you tell me which marga is better? Is what he is asking directly. He wants to know directly from Krishna. Those who worship the form of thy divine manifestation, or those who seek thee, the formless, unmanifest with devotion. Basically, there are people who worship the form, and then there are the people who worship formless among the worshippers. Among the non-worshippers, they don't worship anything. That's a different story. He's not asking about them. He's talking about those. So, which of this marga is better? According to you, which is the greater one? Which is the better one? Probably Arjuna wanted to know. Should I suddenly try to meditate on the formless? It will at least not be that scary. Let us see what he asks. What he says, Krishna replies, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Maya Vesha Mano Ye Mam Nitya Yukta Upasate Shraddhaya Parayopetaha Te Me Yukta Tamamataha. Those who affix their mind's concentration and seek verily only my union with the most supreme faith who offer me their prayers, I hold them to be the best amongst my seekers. Krishna has said this. He's answered it in a very interesting way. He says, those who affix their mind's concentration and seek verily only my union. Those who are focusing on the divine with full concentration, they're trying to become one with the most supreme faith to offer me their prayers. I hold them to be the best amongst my seekers. So, whom did Krishna say ultimately? The formed one or the formless one right now in this shloka? Anybody?
Form. He's mentioning about the form, him.
Is it? Is it mentioned
It
in
can
this
be
shloka?
any. It can
Could
be
be any.
any, but it has
It's
to
a
be
little,
with concentration and meditation
and the Shraddha,
or
isn't it?
focus. Shraddha,
Yeah,
Shraddha.
and the Shraddha. If you see this particular shloka, the first shloka at least, very clearly Krishna has said the Shraddha is most important. ठीक है, whichever marga you are walking. Later on, shlokas may answer something, the question differently. But the first answer that Krishna has given is about Shraddha. That means, can we say you are worshipping somebody, you are going on a wrong marg, you are foolish, your path is less important, your path is less correct. Can we tell that to somebody else? Many people have that habit, isn't it? You are worshipping this particular deva, you will not receive anything, you will not get the punya. You see, efficiency tests have been done on other devas and they have proven to be more efficient. Percentage is much better there, good returns. It's not there, it's not that way. And Krishna has very clearly, explicitly said, meaning Shraddha is a personal thing. Earlier also it has been told to us in the Gita. Our job is not to go on telling somebody else. Instead, focus, increase your tapasya, increase your Shraddha inside. You will get the direction. Many times people say, but what will happen to the world if you don't go and tell them the truth? How many years people have been telling the truth? How many people have heard it? It's the truth has been there, isn't it? So those who have to hear, those who have to understand, unless it is your duty, unless you are a Vishwa Guru, your job is there to teach the people. That time you go and teach the people. That time with full adhikar, if that is the divine adesh that you have received, you have that right to go and preach, speak. But right now, as an individual, focus on your sadhana. Become the instrument, no? Then play the role. Let become a part of. You're not even you're keeping yourself 500 kilometers away from Kurukshetra purposely because you know Kurukshetra Yuddha is going on. I don't want to be there, but I want to go around preaching. That's not how people should do. Focus. This is something Krishna has told earlier also in the Gita very clearly. He said, "Na buddhi bhedam." Your job is not to go and tell you this person is ignorant, that person is ignorant. Most of the time online we see that only, isn't it? This person has done sadhana like this, his 50% life is wasted. That person has done this much sadhana. Who is calculating the percentage? What tools are they using for that evaluation? It's not, and our job is not to do that. So here, first part of Krishna has clearly answered this part of Arjuna's question. See, Shraddha is sincere. I will hold that person to be some of my greatest bhaktas if their Shraddha is very pure, if their mind is not having any other dvesha, mind is focused only on the divine. Next shlokas, though, make it little clear. All right, can we look at 3 more shlokas and then we will stop, because this question also will be answered by shloka number 5. So let us see. Let's continue. Ye tva aksharam anirdesham avyaktam paryupasate sarvatra gamachintyancha kutastham achalan dhruvam. Those who worship the formless, immutable, and seek the unconceivable, imperishable, the all-pervading, omniscient, and supernal, who is the equilibrial, infinite, ethereal, and eternal. Let's continue. Next sloka 3 and 4 are connected and linked. So he's talking about the formless upasana, people who are worshipping the formless. 3 and 4 are linked. Let's look at both of them together. Sanniyam, sanniyamya ye indriyagramam sarvatra samabuddhaya te prapnuvanti mamevam sarvabhuta hiterataha. This underline that portion of sarvabhuta hiterataha means if they have this aspiration to serve the world, if they have the aspiration to better all life, if they have what Krishna talked to us in the earlier adhyayas about Loka Sangraha as their ambition, even if they are worshipping the formless, Krishna says they will become one with me ultimately. He goes on. Just a moment, I will mute. So, with regulation, those who control their senses, meaning, so they are worshipping the formless, but they are controlling, they're having what we call control over the indriyas, with their minds balanced, free from pretenses, no falsehoods inside. The mind is free, able to perceive the truth as it is, no interruptions from the emotions, no interruptions from other aspects. Such people who are seeking the betterment of all living beings with dedication. In me, they certainly attain a dissolution. They become one with me. So Krishna has talked about this formless. Now let us look at the form. Or we'll just finish with the formless part only. Let us, fifth shloka will stop. Kleshodhikarastesham avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkham dehavadbhir pravapyate. One more truth that Krishna talks about is this. The difficulties of those seekers are indeed great, who are devoted in their quest for the formless unincarnate. And they become one, no doubt, Krishna has told. But it's difficult. The marga is difficult. Krishna says the difficulties are great for those who are devoted in their quest for the formless incarnate. I mean, some of them very rigidly, they say, I am only going to seek the divine in the formless way only. This is what is a rigidity in the sadhana, isn't it? Are we formless or are we formed? We are a form, no? So suddenly through form, you are trying to directly connect with the formless without going through the root. And it's going to be difficult, is what Krishna is saying. Success is quaint for such individuals trapped in the physical. With sufferings, they realize the imperceptible metaphysical. But their sadhana is sincere. They are trying to do something sincerely for realizing the divine. They will not fail, is what Krishna is saying. But it's going to be difficult. Success is also rare. Why? Because human nature will start intervening in between, isn't it? It's like, how much can you tolerate? How much pressure can you yield? Directly, you're going to stress yourself too much. That is something which Krishna is talking about. With sufferings, they realize the imperceptible metaphysical. Just, I conclude with this. Just one small incident I can think of which connected with this was one, maybe I have talked about it before. I do not know, but I got a call from somebody who claimed to be my relative. I did not even know. Unfortunately, I'm not very much in touch with everyone. So this call, I don't remember the name also of the person. I think my mother may be knowing it. But he suddenly claimed to talk to me. He wanted to understand my sadhana. I was suddenly surprised why is a stranger calling me in the first place. But he said his relative. I said, fine. I heard you have a guru. You made a guru? It's like I didn't make a guru. I found a guru. He is making me, or I am getting made by him. But I said, yes, I have a guru. Yes, sir. Why do you need? I need. That's all I answered. Then he said, I don't need. I was like, good to hear, sir. I learned directly from the sky. I learned directly from the tree. I learned from the river. I was like, my God, is it Datta Prabhu who is talking to me? But then I learned it was not him. He is not himself realized, but then somewhere he crossed the line in his talking, and then I felt this is not right. Then I just asked him, sir, was one question. I was calling him sir because I still don't recollect my relation exactly, some very distant relation. Sir, how many times has the tree caught your ear? How many times has the sky given you one rap on your head? How many times has the river told you you have ahankar inside of you and you need to change this? Look at your nature. Understand? I said, somebody like me, no, sir, there's a lot of all of these problems. So without Guru, I cannot do it unless the Guru tells me, I will not understand also. So people like me, Guru is required. Maybe you are going to be taught by these elements and everything. That's good for you, sir. But for me, this is fine. I don't know what happened. He quickly hung up the phone and I never heard from him after that. But this is aspect, means you have to reach that state. Fine. We can learn, we can learn. Buddha has talked about when you realize how everything is, how perfect everything is, you'll tilt your head and laugh at the sky. Means when you realize everything, but when will you realize that there's a marker? No, you can't directly jump to that. When I first read that quote, I was actually thinking, what's wrong? I am only wrong. Something is wrong inside of me. I am not able to understand what is the meaning of what is happening in my life. How will I understand meaning of the universe? So the marga is there, and so here, when you have a very rigid affinity to only the formless, that becomes a shortcoming. That becomes a shortcoming that will delay. Krishna does not say there also you will fail. It is you will realize there also, but it's going to be a difficult marga. Like I want to go to Chennai from Pondicherry. Simplest route, catch a cab or a bus. But no, I'll go to Bangalore. From Bangalore, I catch a flight to Mumbai, and from Mumbai, I go to Chennai. Fine, possible. But isn't that a very long route? So that is something which Krishna has talked about, the formed and the formless. Next shloka, we'll continue maybe next week then. Sixth shloka onwards, we'll see. So there's a difference, and that is why in our Sanatan Dharma, formed worship is promoted. Why? Because we can relate to, no? Krishna, he looks like us, his beautiful eyes. Imagine suddenly they give us Vishwarupa's Ugra Rupa, and suddenly which is not able to be conceived into form. It will be impossible to directly connect with it. So we see, oh, Krishna, look, his look beautiful, Kamala Patraksha, beautiful eyes like a lotus. See how wonderful Krishna is. He talks like with such love. We are able to connect that way, isn't it? And the another aspect is the freedom is there. Choose your Aradhya. How much more freedom do we have? We have so much. We can choose our Aradhya. Somebody says, I don't like Krishna, I like Shiva, and you feel it's different. So, take start your sadhana. Start with your Aradhya. Somebody says, no, I begin with Sri Ganesha only. He is my direction. I have felt his presence from the beginning. So the Ishta is going to take you, isn't it? But then as you go ahead, these Dvaita, these Bheda, they disappear. The Shaivite gets the darshana of a Krishna also. He experienced Harihara Narayana Rupa. That is also possible. A devotee of Ganesha got the experience of Ganesha with Basuri. How is it possible? So it's all one. It is all one. That is there. But before directly understanding it, you can choose. So this form and formless, first thing Krishna has clearly said is, I don't really care. I don't want you to go start rating people because of what way they are worshipping. But he said, yes, it's a little difficult to directly attach. Imagine, Shiranam Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivam. I am Shiva. You suddenly say that. What's going to happen? The security guard is only not allowing you to go inside or outside of a building. So is he not allowing Shiva to go inside or is not allowing you? It's you. So until you reach your true form, you can connect better. That's a little bit easier. Otherwise, it's a little difficult. But it's not impossible. And that's what Krishna has talked about. So we stop here. Bhakti Yoga, so entire way, and also something very interesting Krishna is going to share about who is dear to Krishna. I think if we know the secret, we have what we know, the technique, how to make Krishna ours, or how we can become dear to Krishna. This is why many bhaktas also enjoy this particular adhyay. So with this, I conclude. Can someone summarize something that we saw? We conclude with the Shanti Mantra and we continue next week on Monday.
Uh, Krishna has shown his fierce form, so Arjuna is asking him to extend the mercy upon him. He's saying that I offer you my surrender and full submission, just like father to the son, or companion to a friend, and like a beloved. I'm offering the entire submission to you. My mind is trembling in both in fear and both in respect. I Please come back to the form which I understand. Arjuna is saying, and he's describing the form in which he wants to see Krishna, which is a Chatur Bhuja
Chaturbuja.
Darshan, which is calm,
So
peaceful,
Bhakta is
ethical.
telling, give me this darshana. Custom made
He's pleading,
order.
please give me this darshana. I am fully surrendering to you. I offer my submission.
And he
Then
listens.
Lord, yes.
Okay.
Then Lord Krishna is saying that this form is also you saw by my wish, and neither by Vedas nor by tapa nor by charity or performing any strict penance this form
Or
can any
yajna.
it is possible for anyone to see this form. So you cast out your fear. You don't fear this. Cast away your fear, and don't be in ignorant state of panic. Uh, Accept it. He's telling to Krishna. Then Arjuna is telling that seeing your four-armed form, Chaturbhuja form, I'm very delighted, ecstatic, and I feel a wave of bliss in my heart, in my mind. And then again, Krishna is telling that this form also you saw by my wish only. This form also cannot be seen by any Veda, penance, tapa, anything. Only by the pure devotion, pure Shraddha, desireless love, and just being conscious about me, surrendering to me every moment. And with true devotion, it is possible for you to see this form. And then he's telling that do not keep enmity towards anyone. Do your duty as a Kshatriya, follow your duty without hate. He's telling, become free from the desires and surrender to me completely. The chapter here ends. Next chapter, we saw Bhakti Yoga, 5 shloka. Here, Arjuna, first shloka is asking, what form is better to be worshipped? Is it a form of having a form in the mind of the divine, or it is a formless? Which one is better? So then the Krishna is telling, Shraddha is very important. Just focus on your sadhana. Keep faith on the Supreme. Concentrate, fix your mind, concentrate it, seek my union. And for the formless who wants to seek me as a formless devotion, it is very difficult path. As by nature we tend to we do not bear that much of suffering, but the in the rare cases only we succeed. And he's also telling that to have control over the senses, balanced mind, there should not be any falsehood inside, and no interruptions from emotions, and with full dedication if you seek me, you keep loka sangraha as the ambition, then surely those seekers are loved by me. So this much
Yes,
I understood.
absolutely. You
Thank you.
perfectly said. Thank you, Ji. Hari Om. So, Sarva Bhuta Hite Ratah. That is a simple sutra, connecting fact, betterment of the world. If that connection is there, Vishwa will also slowly disappear from a person. And the desireless love and Ananya Bhakti, I think that is possible. And desireless love is possible to everybody. Towards your spouse, towards your partner, towards your friend, towards the universe as well. That is when your heart opens up. That is when your heart actually opens up and you are free, and then you are in nirvaira sthiti. No more is the world your enemy. There is no enemy in the world at all for such a person. There are only moments which are going to teach you, and there are moments which are difficult, which are again going to propel you. That is all. Nothing more than that, nothing less. So that is a very important aspect. But remember, this much at least is that if we want to become instrument of divine, I think everybody wants to become that, isn't it? Wherever we are, whichever kshetra, we want to manifest the divine will. To manifest divine will, we should have the guest in our heart, isn't it? It is Krishna. He should be there, not hatred. Krishna will not, he'll run away immediately. Oh, there's hatred? No, I'm not very comfortable here. Get me a better comfortable position to be seated, then I will remain there. So hatred is to be shunned at any time. That is something which should not be ever accepted inside of ourselves. It will judge, it will just, mar our judgment also. You want to give somebody a dose of their medicine, give them their dose of the medicine, but don't have hatred inside. Arjuna is going to give Duryodhana justice only, isn't it? Arjuna is going to become the deliverer of justice. Through him, Krishna is going to function. But no hatred inside. Otherwise, Arjuna will spoil the grand plan. It will be Arjuna's plan, not the divine one. So let us conclude now with the Shanti mantra. Hari Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kasyid dukha bhag bhavet. Hari Om Tat Sat. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Jai Shri Krishna. Punarminamah. See you next week on Monday. We enter into the kernel of Bhakti Yoga. What is the secret of Bhakti Yoga? Yes, Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. If any queries are there, you are welcome. Or I conclude the session.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om ji. Namaste.
Hari Om.
Yes. Namaste. If there are no queries, I'll conclude the session. All right.